Shut up and sit down.
Hello, my friend. You are listening to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, the number one place for innovative marketing, retention strategies, and business growth ideas made just for dance studio owners. Now, this isn't your average business podcast. We're here to shake things up, simplify the hustle, and focus on real, actionable insights. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, and after 30 years of running studios, coaching owners, and scaling businesses, I know one thing's for sure. There's no one size fits all in this industry. You've got the passion and I've got the tools to help you take it to the next level. So hit that subscribe button, grab a coffee, and let's scale your studio together. So you want to grow, but you also don't want to lose the magic of what makes your studio special. The secret? Scaling isn't about doing more, it's about leading differently. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. I'm really excited to bring this episode to you. It's talking about scaling your studio, but without sacrificing the quality or your sanity. All right, so let's just get into it. You want to grow, you know your studio has the potential to be bigger, more profitable, and more impactful. But there's this fear in the back of your mind. The fear that if you scale, you'll lose the heart of your studio. That if you take a step back, things will fall apart. That if you grow too fast, the quality will drop and your studio won't feel the same. And I get it, because your studio isn't just a business. It's your creative space. It's your passion. It's the thing that you've poured your soul into. So today we're going to talk about how to scale without sacrificing their quality or your sanity, because here's the truth. Scaling isn't about doing more, it's about leading differently. And inside the mastermind, this is exactly what we focus on, because there is a way to grow while still keeping your standards high, your studio culture intact, and your stress levels low. So let's get into it. I just want to start by addressing something that might be sitting in the back of your mind. And again, I hear this because when I'm speaking to studio owners, they aren't aware of it, but I hear it and I can see it in them. And this is that many studio owners don't even realize that they're resisting growth, but they actually are. Now you might ask yourself why, or no, that's not me. But I'll tell you why, because growth can feel risky, and you might be thinking things like, if I grow too fast, I'll lose control. No one can do it like I do it. If I step back, the quality will drop and my students will notice. Or I don't have time to train someone else. I barely have time as it is. Does this sound familiar? Does this resonate with you in any way? This is what I like to call the growth paradox. It's like you want to grow, but you're afraid that the growth will break the thing that you've worked so hard to build. And this fear leads to two things. It will be, number one, you'll stay small on purpose. So you don't take on more students, you don't delegate, and you resist scaling because deep down, you don't trust that growth won't create chaos. And the second one is you try to do it all yourself. So, and this is probably the most common one. Instead of expanding your team, setting up the systems, and leading like a true CEO, you just keep adding more to your plate. And you think, if I just work harder, if I just put in more time, it'll all be fine in the end. But here's the truth. Working harder is not the way to scale. If it were, you'd already be where you want to be, right? So how do you grow without everything falling apart? The answer is leadership leverage. Now, the difference between a studio that scales smoothly and one that turns into a chaotic mess isn't more time or more effort, it's how the business is structured. Now, if you listened a couple of weeks ago to the episode that I put up, or maybe you joined me in the growth room, we discussed there are 3 shifts that need to happen for you to scale while keeping control. The first one is the CEO shift. So you need to stop being the operator and you need to start leading like a business owner. And the second one was the systems shift. So you need a structured, repeatable way of running your studio. And the third one is the leadership shift. So you need a team that takes ownership so that you're not the person making every decision. Now, when these three things are in place, scaling actually feels easier. Now, you're probably thinking this all sounds great, but I just don't think my studio is ready for that. So let's break it down. Let's have a look at what the real objections are that they're holding you back, because I promise you that these are fixable. Okay, first one. Objection number one, I don't have time to step back and train someone else. Now, I get this. I've been in the thick of it, so I totally understand. Maybe right now your to-do list is completely overwhelming and the idea of taking time to train someone else feels impossible. But the truth is, if you don't take the time to step back, you will never get your time back. And training your team isn't extra work. It's an investment that gives you more time in the future. And inside the mastermind, we break down exactly how to train your team in a way that actually works for you. Okay, second objection is no one can do it like you do. Now, this is a big one, and I won't lie, I'm sure your standards are high. But that's why your studio is successful. But here's what I've seen time and time again. Your team wants to step up. They want to do great work. But if you don't let them, then they will never rise to the challenge. And again, another focus in the mastermind is that leadership leverage. So that instead of micromanaging, you're empowering your team to take ownership and meet your standards without you having to be in every detail or without you losing sleep over whether or not they're doing it well. In fact, I got a great a video message actually from one of the members yesterday, and she was in her car driving away from the studio and it was daylight, and she's like, look at me, I'm driving away, they've kicked me out the door, everything's running smoothly. I actually don't know what to do with myself right now, but that was just the best. That was the best video for me to see, everything that they're doing is working. Okay, and objection number 3 is if I scale, the quality will drop and the parents will notice. Now, this fear is valid, but let me ask you this. What if the opposite happened? So what if scaling actually made your studio better? What if parents saw how professional and well run your studio was? Or what if your teachers were even more invested because they had clear leadership? Or what if your students felt more supported because your systems actually worked? Growth doesn't mean losing quality. It just means refining your studio so it runs just like a well choreographed production, just not that last minute scramble. All right, so if you're listening to this and you know that it's time to scale, here's what I want you to do. Identify what's keeping you from stepping into your true leadership. So take some time to reflect, whether that's, a little bit each day or throughout the day if you're taking notes. Just try and be aware and bring your mind into what is it that's keeping you from that. The second one is to choose one thing to delegate or systemize this week. So hopefully a couple of weeks ago you listened to the episode where I asked you to pick one thing to delegate. I'm asking you to do another one. Find something that you can delegate, or find something that a repeatable task that you are doing, and work through a way that can just become systemized so you don't have to physically do it every single time. And the third one is, if you want help actually making this happen, then you need to join the mastermind. We need to jump on a call, because inside the mastermind, we don't just talk about scaling, we do the real work of building a business that runs without you. So if you are serious about growing without the chaos, this is where you need to be. So I'm going to leave the link again in the show notes. If you want to book in, we can just have that conversation. We jump on the suitability call. Just have the conversation to see whether this is the right fit for you, and if we can make that work for you. All right, I hope today's episode was helpful in some way. Most of us are turning up. We are working so hard with the aim of giving. We're wanting to create that impact for our students. But you also should be having the reward of having the freedom, having the profit, having everything that you want your studio to be. So scaling your studio without sacrificing exactly what that is, but more importantly, sacrificing what it means for you mentally and for your sanity. All right, that's it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. As usual, I would love for you to share this with anyone, take a screenshot and put it up on Instagram and tag me. I would really appreciate that as well. Jump in for your suitability call. It is not too late to get started. It's actually a perfect time of year because things have settled now for a bit. New Year's in, done, and not wanting to scare anyone, but really within the next couple of months we need to start planning out the following year. So anyway, if that hasn't scared you and you want to have a conversation about that, please do book in for a call. Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other studio owners who would love it too. And let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at Jen Dalton for more tips, insights, and behind-the-scenes moments to help you simplify and scale your studio. Until next time, keep dreaming big and taking action. I'll see you back here soon.